Hello, this is video number 1 of the 8-part video series on things that I've learned, that I use, that help me get past anxiety, or that have helped me to overcome parts of the agoraphobia that really kept me secluded. I came across it last year, not knowing that there was a term called the relaxation response. In the 70s, in the same place that they found the fight or flight response, which is what happens to us when we have our panic attacks or our anxiety attacks, they found the relaxation response, which is the opposite of that. When you're in panic mode, when the anxiety is really high, your heartbeat starts racing, it feels like you can't catch your breath, you might start to get sweaty, you might feel confused, a little disoriented, a little foggy, you might get a little bit nauseous, shaky. These are all things that happen because of the chemicals that kick off. They're meant to mobilize you, and the blood is sent to parts of your body that it deems important in order to do that. And so when your heart starts racing, you feel like you can't catch your breath because your circulation is going so quickly and you're not consciously thinking you need to breathe quicker, and usually quicker is shallower, but that's your body just trying to kind of keep up with the blood circulation in order to keep that oxygen, carbon dioxide coming in and out. You might feel a little disoriented because that type of breathing can make you feel that way. If you just regularly breathe like that, you're going to notice that you get a little bit lightheaded. The nausea, that's the adrenaline. That's kind of one of the side effects of the adrenaline being in your system. So is the shakiness or the sweats. So there's good reasons for all of this. Now, this exercise that triggers the relaxation response slows your breathing down, slows your heart rate down, makes you feel a little bit more there, makes you feel a little bit more present, and then that leads to general well-being. This is one of the immediate things that you can do in order to start to bring a little bit more peace to your body and to your mind, because I know the anxiety can kind of take its toll on you. So here we go. Alright, so the relaxation response. And what they found is that a number of different techniques work, and those can be yoga, mindfulness meditation, transcendental meditation, mantra meditation, repetitive prayer, and several other things that fit into 3 basic rules that need to be followed in order to trigger this response that all of us have within us. Number 1, you have to have something to focus your mind on, so that way you can always return to it. Okay? If you just sit here and let your mind wander, it's going to be all over the place. So some people will use the sensation of their breath going in and out. So if you do diaphragmatic breathing, which is breathing from your stomach, pretty much your diaphragm, that's a little bit different than when you go and you breathe from your chest. That's actually stressful breathing. So diaphragmatic breathing is a more peaceful and actually the correct way to breathe. But the sensation of the breath coming in and your stomach expanding and going out, some people focus on that. Some people focus on a mantra. Om is a popular one. They recommend using a word that doesn't really bring about too many mental images, because the idea is to focus on something and not cause a chain reaction of more thoughts. If you're very religious, you have strong beliefs, and you have a prayer that you say that brings you a sense of peace, you can also use that. Visualization, if you can visualize a beach or a park or waves or something that brings you peace, you can also use that. So that's the first thing you need. The second thing you need is an attitude of, oh well, when the intrusive thoughts start to come about, because they will come about. Our minds, especially with everything going on with technology, we're just so kind of drawn in different directions. So once we focus on one thing, our mind wants to start going in all these different directions. We also don't want to cause any kind of anger or feelings of guilt in ourselves that we're doing it wrong. As long as you follow the steps, you're going to be doing it right and you'll be fine. So you want to take an oh well attitude towards any thoughts that come up. So for instance, if I close my eyes and I focus on the beach, okay, and I picture the beach in my mind, Now, there's a sound in the background that I'm not sure if you can hear, but I can hear it. So my mind goes, what's that? As soon as it does that, I don't say, oh man, darn it, mind, what are you doing? I just say, okay, oh well, I noticed that it took me away from where I wanted to focus. I leave it be and I come back to my focus. It doesn't matter if you do that 100 times. As a matter of fact, that's a good thing when you notice that your focal point is no longer your focal point, because that means that you're bringing it back to focus. If you weren't to notice it, then you'll be distracted all over the place. So don't get upset at yourself if you notice that your mind is going here or going there, and you have to bring yourself, back to your focal point 100 times. That's okay. And the third thing you need is enough time. They recommend that you do it at least 12 to 15 minutes. That's really what it takes in order to kick in the relaxation response. You have to really look at it as time invested into yourself. If you have to get up a little bit earlier, I know when you have a family, it's a little tougher, kids running around, make dinner, do chores, but it's 15 minutes and it really is worth it. What I do, I'll set a little timer on my phone, and the alarm for the timer is a nice little harp. It's not, it's gonna snap you out of your practice. It's something nice that'll kind of lightly bring you out. It's a little harp that and then, oh, okay, it's time to wake up. So that's the practice of the relaxation response. Again, the three main things are to have a focal point that you can really focus on, to take an oh well attitude towards any thoughts that come up. Don't get upset at yourself. It's perfectly normal. Just say, oh well, and bring it back. And to give yourself at least 12 to 15 minutes. Try to do this every day. It really does make all the difference in the world. And if you have any questions, feel free to hit me up.